End-to-end ERP solution in the cloud, AWS. The ERP software solution is developed and deployed in cloud, based on the following concept as shown below in the diagram. Information flow and feedback of information. Source of data, our understanding. The data are generated, because of every operation in the organization and interaction with other functions. The most activities are related to other internal functions. There is a need to relate activities to external groups, customers, vendors, banks, and governmental agencies. As shown above in the diagram, the key operations are integrated, larger masses of data are generated on internally, using hundreds of different forms in medium and large organizations. Many of these operating forms serve for preparation of basic reports and necessary in making management decision reports for the following departments: finance and accounts, marketing and sales, purchase, receiving, stock control, engineering, manufacturing, research and development, shipping, personnel, documentation. For ERP software system designing, we have considered a typical manufacturing organization as a template. The above template we can use for other industries also, process industry and service industry. We can modify the template, industry-wise after system study/organization study. In the diagram we have illustrated is to understand information flow and important feedback of critical information to the appropriate levels of the management to control operation. End-to-end ERP solution in the cloud system design concept. The integrated ERP software design is module-based as shown below. At the time of designing, we select the module and define the navigation options. ICOM methodology. For business processes and its integration we are using ICOM methodology. Note: for tables and constraints, indexes, sequencers, views, procedures, and functions refer database backend document. Organization structure. System administrator setup. At the time of software installation, system will set up the system administrator ID and user password. After system installation, administrator will change the password. Enter user ID and password of system administrator in login screen. 1. Login, system setup. Enter administrator ID and password for system setup. Cloud software will display the following navigation menu after entering administrator ID and password. System setup. 2. Zone, define zone/business zone of the organization. 3. Branch, define branches/business areas/profit centers/cost centers/locations within zone/business zone, refer map shown below. 4. Departments, select the option, department, and enter the departments of the organization, example, finance and accounts, marketing and sales, purchase and inventory, warehouse and production, etc. 5. Role, define role/organization hierarchy of the organization. Example, board of directors, managing director, directors, president, sister vice president, president, general manager, departmental managers, operational level staff, DSS, decision support system, managers, etc. 6. User, role-wise user and menu navigation. Create navigation, define menu structure and register user interface programs. Main menu, submenu, submenu. As per system setup, branches/business areas/profit centers/cost centers/locations, dashboard will display map automatically as shown below. ICOM methodology, for business processes and its integration we are using ICOM methodology. Note: for tables and constraints, indexes, sequencers, views, procedures, and functions refer database backend document. Finance and account setup. 1. Login as finance and account setup. Enter finance and account setup ID and password as provided by system administrator. Cloud software will display the following navigation menu after entering finance and account setup ID and password. Finance and account setup. Ledgers, define ledgers as per account and management requirements. Example, general ledger is defined at the time of system installation in the cloud. Chart of account will be defined by using chart of account option as shown in left column, sundry creditors, sundry debtors, employee ledger, project ledger, costing ledger, inter-branch ledger, asset ledger, vehicle expense ledgers, trip advance, driver and helper salary, tire, tube and battery, van maintenance, diesel, trip expenses, vehicle fitness, permit, tax token, van maintenance major repairing, and van, backload etc. Note, sub-ledgers account heads can be shown all India, or it can be defined branch-wise. Chart of account, assets, liability, income and expense. Sub-ledgers account heads. Control account, define sub-ledgers summary posting to chart of account. i.e., control account in general ledger. Set of books, define set of books, branch-wise, cash books, bank books, journal, sale book, purchase book, opening balance journal and closing journal. Narration, define narration. This will be used at the time of transaction entry. 1. Login as, finance and account. Enter finance and account user ID and password as provided by system administrator. For the cloud software will display the following navigation menu after entering user ID and password. Finance data input. Finance data input, as per user configuration, system is displaying the following navigation options. Cash receipt, customer as invoice payment or any other short payment against invoice, against the debit note to customer, cash receipt from employee as salary advance return or any other advance return etc. Cash receipt, customer as invoice payment or any other short payment against invoice, against the debit note to customer, cash receipt from employee as salary advance return or any other advance return etc. Cash payment to the vendor for any purchase of services, material, vendor debit note payment. Bank receipt, customer as the invoice payment or any other short payment against the invoice, bank receipt from employee as salary advance return or any other advance return etc. Bank payment to vendor for any purchase of services, material, vendor debit note payment, credit card payment. Contra, transfer entry. Example, main cash book to petty cash book to main cash book, bank to cash and cash to bank. Journal entry as per accounting practice. Journal, opening journal and closing journal etc. Branch to branch funds transfer entry. Customer invoices. Vendor bills. Sample data input screen, same concept we have used in all the modules. Cash receipt, data input UI, user interface, screen. Amount. Grid branch book. Selection date. Delete select account picker. Department. Select ledger. General ledger / sub-ledger, document no. Select and enter the narration for reference purpose. Delete, before save. New entry, after saving next entry screen. Save, to save. Entered. Transactions. Add new row. To add new row / rows to grid. Input field, refer screen 1 page no. Branch, based on user ID and password, system will display the branch name. Select book in drop box, system will display cash book / books as configured by account administrator for the branch. Select date from the following date picker. Note, system will accept current date, not beyond current date, and date range opened, previous dates, by account administrator. Document no. Physical document no from where data is inputted. Auditors will use document no for reference and audit purpose. No of rows, default display value is 4. Finance user can change this value to adjust grid rows. User can adjust the rows at time of data input also. Grid. Delete, user can delete the entry only at the time of transaction entry. After completing the entry and pressing save button, system will post the entry to respective books and ledgers. If any change is required in entered transaction, then user will contact account administrator. Select department in Dropbox, system will display departments as configured by system administrator. Select General Ledger/Subledger in Dropbox, system will display General Ledger/Subledger as configured by account administrator. Select Account in Dropbox, system will display account description as configured by account administrator. Select Narration in Dropbox, system will display narration as configured by account administrator. Narration, enter the narration for reference purpose. Amount, enter amount of the transaction. HR and payroll setup. Purchase and inventory. Purchase and inventory. Other modules, design is same as shown in documents. Analytics dashboard. Audit dashboard. Documentation system. Salient features, SaaS model. Cloud infrastructure overview. DSS, decision support system cube. Expense graph. Income and expense. Income and expenses ratio. Assets and liability ratio. Drill down to previous level and view information in pop-up screen and graphs. Information on demand. Zone analysis. Branch analysis. Migration strategy. System integration strategy. Training strategy. Audit strategy. Implementation strategy. Backup and disaster recovery strategy. Security strategy. Software maintenance. And enhancement strategy. Thanks for watching the video, PK Suri.